you on the day 3 of Bootstrap Beginners to Advanced series, where we will be discussing and we will be learning the Bootstrap series. So already we have completed two classes, and in these two classes we have completed the basics part and what all things are there in Bootstrap. Means Bootstrap consists of what all things, and after that we have seen grid also, Bootstrap grid. It is not serious grid, and after that. So today we are actually focusing on container fluid container and container breakpoints. And after that we will focus on rows. So we will actually we are referring the official documentation of Bootstrap. Okay. So actually it is the best source to learn anything. So let us wait for 1 to 2 minutes for the rest of the people to join. Then we will continue the session. Mm. The setup is already being done with us, and a minute. Okay, so let us go live, and let me open the official documentation also. Yeah. Okay, so this is the official documentation, what we are referring. Right. So I'm ready with the today's session. So okay, so now what we will do, let us see the class container. Okay, so earlier we have seen. Right. Okay, so earlier what we have seen the container class, container with breakpoint. So here we have containers And as I've told you, there are three type of containers. First one is the plain container. Second one is the container fluid. Container fluid actually uses the 100% of the weight. And the third one is the container breakpoint. So that is how it moves like that. Now after this thing, okay. So here, let us check all the three type of containers. So for this thing, what we have a div with class container. So let me have a plain container and with the ID red and a content as hello world. So this is how it looks like. After that, what we will do? Okay. Now, as soon as we make this small c, but before going that, let us refer C. So what is happening here? For small devices, it is using the 100% of the available bit. So that is how it works. Like. So for the small devices, it is using the 100% of the available bit. So that is what it is working like that. And 1 second, 1 minute. Here, for class container, you see it is written here that for extra small devices which have the dimensions less than 576px, it is using the 100% of the available screen size. So that is how it is reacting. So now see. For small devices, it is using 100%. And as soon as we increase from small to the laptop or the desktop, it is working like that. Now, after this thing, uh, so what we do? Okay, so now if you have seen here, using container as a class, the screen size between large and extra large. So this is large. The screen size between large and extra large, between large and extra large will be 960px, and between extra large and extra large, between extra large and extra large will be 1140px. And if it is and if the screen size is extra large, it is around 1320px. So now let us see the next container, which is called as a container breakpoint. Okay, so here what I do. So actually this container breakpoint is not available in previous Bootstrap. It is not available in previous version of Bootstrap. Currently, it is added now, and currently it is added now. And actually, it is a combination of container and container fluid. It is a combination of it is a combination of container and container fluid. So uh, let us check out the container breakpoint. So here we have the SM, MD, LG, XL, and double XL. So what I do, I start with container dash LG, and the content is same with the ID as right. So let us check out how it works. So LG means for the large screen. So for this, from here the large screen will work, will start, and it looks and it is using the 100% of the screen size. Now after this thing, let us check out the row. Okay, for row property, let me have a new style. green. I will have a background color to green, and let me change to aqua. Background color to aqua with height, let's say 100 px. Okay, so how it moves like that. Now after this thing, we already have a div. We already have a div with the class name as container. Let me change this to Excel and have an ID red. Now we already, what I do, let me have a div row, and in this div row we carry the ID as green, and the content we will write as row. Okay, the content is row. Okay, now here what is happening? This thing is a row and it is using the 100% of the available screen size. Fine. Now here, let's add a div with a class row and content row, and with the ID name as green, and we add a color with ID. So here red is the container. This red is a container, and the row is the aqua color. This row is the aqua color with the ID as green, which uses the same width as container. So it is using the same width as the container is using it. Okay. Now after that, if you see, okay, and one more thing, actually row is also inside the container. So this red is a container. This aqua, this means the aqua with the content as row. The content as row is inside it. So 1 minute. Okay, so now let's change the class to fluid and see what happens. So the width will be 100%, but of the row it is getting hidden. So let us see if I use the class to fluid. Okay, if I use the class to fluid, what happens? So container in fluid. Okay. So here in container fluid, what is happening? Now it is using the 100% of the size. So here, let us see. See, for the mobile device, it is 100%, and for any of the dimension. So, and for any of the dimension, whether it is for small, extra small, medium, large, extra large, and extra large, okay, it is using the 100% of the screen size. Now, okay, so Bootstrap, what Bootstrap says? Okay, so Bootstrap says as we need to add any content inside a column, okay, and not inside a row. So this is a rule that, so let us summarize the rules also. So the rule number 1 is, after body we have to have a div with the class container. After div with the class container, we have to have a div with the class row. After div with the class row, we have to have a column, and after column we can add the content or image. Okay, so this is the rule which we need to follow in Bootstrap. So already we have created content. After content we have a class row, and after class row, 1 second, let me make it. Okay, and after class row, we need to add the column. Okay. So now, okay, but here what is happening? We have added inside a row, and that needs to be corrected. Okay, here if you see the content, we have actually added inside the row. Now, so row can be inside a column or container, but column will be inside a row only. So this is the rule. Now column can be column cannot be inside a column, and every content will be inside a column only. Okay. Okay. So now let us check out what is a column. Okay. So container, row, column, content. And second scenario, container, row, column, row, column, content. Means column inside a column or column inside a row. So that is how it works like that. So let us check out the next thing. So what we do here, uh, okay. So here what we do now, about we will use the by default Bootstrap class, with the help of which we can give a background color. Okay. From now, in spite of different ID, because Bootstrap gives us classes, so let us use that. Okay. So what I do here, let me have a class of. Okay, so let us comment that dot bg primary, and we have a h1 hello world. What is happening here? While it is coming. Okay. So here, what we did, we have a div with the class bg primary and a h1 with hello world is the content. Now, so let us create another div with the content as hello and a class with class name as bg dash primary, and the output is like that. So we have already created. Now after this thing, what we do? Okay, so let us uncomment this and see now how it is showing looking. What is happening? It comes in the end, and again it is using the 100% of the available bit. So that it useful because it is again by the side of container. Okay. So now what we do here, we use the text as white. So this comes inside the class. So with the text as white and with the h1 as hello world, it is like that. Now using another class, text as white. Okay. Using another class text as white, or I can have the text as yellow also. Yellow is not working. Green. Only we have black and white. Okay. So the text is white. The font color changed to white. Now now if we do no now if we will not create ID, and we will use the same class of Bootstrap for colors. So the flow will be different. The flow will be container, row, column, uh, container, row, column, content, and image. Okay, container, row, column, content, and image. So that will be the flow. Okay, now after that, now if you want to divide column again, so what we need to do, we need to start this with the help of a row. So because why? Because there's a rule that column cannot be inside a column. There has to be a row. There has to be a row, and after that row we have to have a column, and after column we have to have content or an image. That depends upon the choice. Okay. So Now let us do one thing. Okay, okay. Now we will do now what we will do, we will again use a breakpoints call dash md call dash sm call dash lg call dash xl here, uh, and we need to use the column detail. So if you want a div equals to 5 columns, okay, for extra small dimension, what we will do, we will write call dash 5. So let us check out how we are writing. So this is a div with the container class fluid and with the ID as red. After that, we have a div with the class row with the ID as green. And after that, what I will do here. Okay. So I will remove this row, and after that, we'll use a call dash lg dash floor, a div with the class call dash lg dash floor, and I may okay. So here, what is happening? Now, if I want to have another div, okay, if I want to have another div, how we are using it? So for this particular thing, we will be using, or let me say that if I want to have okay, so this is a div. Let us have another div. Okay, so what I do here, let me copy this thing. Call dash lg dash 2 and be a secondary, and I can use BGS access call dash LG dash, let's say 8. Okay, and this is how the structure like this. Now let me, okay, so this is in a fluid container fluid, so it always uses 100% of the weight. Okay, now after that we have the content here. So here, if you have applied this to last screen, same will be applied to extra. So what is happening here? We have so let us check out the dimensions first. So here, what is happening? If we have applied any call to the extra large, okay. So or I can say large. Okay. So what is happening? So what is happening that above extra large, or I can say above large, that means extra large and extra large. What is happening? So if you have applied this to large string, same will be applied to extra large and extra large string. So the rule is, if some set of style we have applied to a class, so above classes will apply the same set of same set of strings, and the below means SMMD. What it will do? It will take the 100% of the width. Okay, so let us check out how it is doing that. So for this thing, for for this thing, uh, 1 minute. Offset column, we will come in offset column. We will come. Okay. offset. I know once again. It is actually offsetting. So offsetting means giving space in the column from the left side. So giving space means you are inserting space, or I can say you are inserting some extra space to the column from the left side. So if you have three columns, so you can have the spaces. You can insert three type of space in the column. So that is again a small intro of the offsetting. So once we will reach this topic, we will discuss in detail and how to implement this. We can check that thing also. So going back to our content, one second. Mm, So offsetting is something the addition of space, the insertion of space. I can say insertion is the better word to insert the space from the left side. Okay. Now after this thing, now for the devices below large. Okay. So what is happening here? If you see the set of style what I have applied to the LG-2 means for large screen devices and for the devices above large means extra large and extra large, it is using the same set of style what we have given to this large screen. And for the below devices, okay, it will automatically change to 12 means it is using the full grid size. Okay, now after this thing, uh okay. Okay. So now, if you want to change the setting, we can do that also because what we have done, we have given this to a large screen devices, but it is not possible for this. So if I want my content to look different in different kind of devices, I can do that also. Okay. So for this thing, what I do, I need to use a different breakpoints here. Okay. So what I do here in this particular thing, I use call dash LG dash 4 call dash XL dash 4 and call dash MD dash 4. So total of 12 rows in a column. So we have applied. Now as soon as we switch on, we increase the screen size, see how what is happening. Now it is automatically adjusting. That is how it is moving like that. This is how it works like. Now after this thing, for the okay, so let me have this is a div and I have the content. Okay, so let me have the content as call dash LG. You can see call dash LG here. And if I similarly we have call dash SM dash let's say 10. So I use here this is a div. I hello okay hello all is coming here fine. Okay, hello all is coming here fine. So what I use here call dash 10. Okay, and here I let me insert for different dimensions. So call dash SM dash 6 and call dash let's say again so 8 plus 6 is 14. So let me call called dash MD dash 4. 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11, and I need to have 1. Okay, so this is how it works. Now let us see how these things are actually displaying. See. So very beautifully it is getting adjusted, because as I've told you, it is again use the main motto is to make the website responsive, and this is again managed by Bootstrap, and the grid system, which is again a part of CSS, which is being used by the boot system, is managed by them only. So that is how this thing is going on. Okay. Now after this thing, okay, so that is called as a responsive web design, or a simple word responsiveness, because it because the screen size, or I can say because it adjusts, or I can say it automatically adjusts depending upon the, or I can say depending upon the screen size. Automatically it is adjusting. Okay, so that is how it works like that. Now after that, let us check out. Uh, let us see nested. What is nested? Okay, so now nested means how we divide columns into 2 or 3. So that is called as a nested. But before going further into the nested, let me share you the attendance sheet. So one minute. Attendance sheet. So this is a day 3 attendance sheet, and I request you all to please fill right here right now. I will wait for a minute for you to fill. Once you confirm, then I will go ahead. So, okay, so I found that someone has filled attendance, so that means everything is working fine. Okay, so now, no, okay, so now let us see nested. What is nested? So, nested, as I've told you, nested means how to divide columns into 2 and 3. So, currently, what is happening? The column is taking the actual size of the container, or it is taking the actual width of the container. So, with the help of the nested, we can divide columns into 2 and 3. So let us do the primary setup. So Let us have dot. Sorry. We have a div with the class dot container fluid, and in this div with the class container fluid, let me again introduce the ID as IDs, right? So we have a div with IDs, right? Now, here, what we are doing here, let us add a div with the class row. Oh, it is not working. With the class row and ID with the class green. And here, what we are doing, we are okay. So we have a div with the class row. Fine. Now, what we are doing, let me add a class call dash pg dash 4 call dash. Okay, sorry. So 1 second, call dash bg dash 1 second. Okay, so we have a class with the class name call dash bg dash 4. Now in this call dash bg dash 4, what we are doing? Bg is nothing. Let me add lg call dash lg, and here I use bg as primary, and in this bg as primary, I use the okay. So let me have the text as right. In the content, we have the content dash call dash 4. So need for this need to be easily identified. Okay, now after that, after this call dash 4, after that this call dash 4, let me have another class. So we using call dash lg dash 8, and we have bg again have primary with the text 8 in the call dash 8. Okay, so we have two calls here. Right. Now let me change the structure as danger, so we can easily judge what is happening there. Okay, now let us have a so here what is happening now. If we want to create a column inside a column, okay, we need to create a row first, because this is the rule. So rule, let us summarize the rule again. Container, row, column, container, row, column, column, content. Okay, I hope you judge it how it is going on. So this is the rule what we are, how we are following. Okay, so let us check out how we are going to create a row inside a column. So for this thing, what we do, uh, in this particular thing, we create a class dot row, and in this dot row, okay, we create the column. So what we do, simple, we just copy this column and paste it with the BGS lines. So here we have created a column inside a row. Now this is the structure. Okay, so if I here, so two and call, let me have call 8. So here, this is the parent and inside this VM. Okay, so this is how it looks like that. Now BG light, if I use BG dark, this is how we have created that column inside a column. So, okay, now let us see the responsiveness, how responsive these columns and rows are. So, see, this is 100% responsive. And if you have noticed here, we have did nothing. We have simply have our class, and this class is, and this we have simply our class, and this particular set of class, what is, and this particular set of class, what we have created, um, is actually managing themselves. How? Because internally, as I've told you, Bootstrap uses some part of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay. And in order to make the web page responsive, it is using the grid system internally. So that is how it works like that. See how it is working. See, the here, this is the transition point. This is the transition point. See, so it is moving like that. Okay, so that is the way in which you can check all those things. Now, after this thing, okay, now one more thing. Now what is happening? New versions are coming with new and new features. So what is happening? Now, one more thing. So far, what we have learned, okay, it is enough for you to make a website. 1 second. Okay, so far what we have learned, it is enough for you to make a website. But what is happening? But what is happening? As new and new versions are coming with new and new features, so we need to take care of them also. So now let us see how we will be able to create columns of equal width. Okay, so here what is happening? I have okay. So this I can do this very simple. How? If I write call 6, call 6, and call 6, so 3 equal columns will get created. Okay, but I want this to be happen automatically. So what I do for this thing? So I use a class call, simple class call. Okay. So let me remove rest of the thing. Class call, and let me copy paste this thing. 1 second. Control V and close. Now see what is happening. 3 equal columns gets created. Okay, 3 equal columns gets created without putting anything. See, 3 equals columns will get created. Okay, so that is the beauty of Bootstrap. Now, after this thing, in order to use the equal width column, there are one more shortcut. So first shortcut is simply write call6 your items, your columns will get created. Okay, second thing what we have just mentioned, if we do not write anything, so if we have plain call, we have the columns will get created of equal width. Okay, now let us see the third pattern, how this third pattern is working. Now in this third pattern, where we allot is column and the rest will divide among the rest. Okay, so how to do this thing? If I write here call dash 6, now see this. Okay, so let me change this to stars. Okay, so it is visible. Now here what I have mentioned, this particular column, okay, this particular second one is using the sixth part of the grid and half of them is being used. So you can easily see with your eyes, this and this are same and this is little bit large. So that is the thing here. So it is using like that in that portion. Now after this thing, okay, so one more shortcut here. So where the shortcut number 3 is where the size of the column depends upon the size of the content inside and rest will be divided among the rest or the left after column. So how we will be doing this? So we will do this with the help of call dash auto. Call dash auto. AUTO. So with this call dash auto, what is happening? Based on the size, the space will get allowed. So you can see this is a small content, and this small content, and depending on the size of the content, the space gets allotted. So that is the beauty of this call dash auto. Okay, so now what we will do, let us apply a new class on the row. Okay, so what we do, we have let me remove this thing first, and we have plain call, and for this thing to understand, let me have to create another different what I do. So we have dark lights. Let me use secondary. One more column with secondary. Okay, this is fine. Okay, so here we have 4 columns. Now let us discuss so 1 second. Okay, so here we have 4 columns. Now this is like that. Now here what we are doing. Now let me put here row dash call dash 2. What is happening? Two columns will get created. Row dash call dash 2. Row dash, oh, it is not like that. Row dash calls dash 2. It is coming like that. And if I write here row and row dash call 2. Now see how it is working. So here we have created 2 columns of equal width. See, this is how you can use like that. Fine. So that is the beauty of calls that. Now, so there will be now. So now, what is happening? There will be two columns in a single line. Now, what is how this is happening? So this is happening purely because of Flexbox. Okay, this is happening purely because of Flexbox. Because as I've told you that Bootstrap uses some part of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. And in this CSS, HTML, JavaScript, Flexbox and Grid are also there. So this is purely happening because of Flexbox. Okay. So now, if the space allotted depends on the content inside, so how we will doing it? So what we do, we use row dash calls dash auto. So now see, it is working like that. So that is purely because of the Flexbox functionalities being used by the Bootstrap. Okay, so that is purely because of the Flexbox functionality. Okay, so we end today's session here, and after that we will continue from tomorrow. So thank you. Same to you.